let's go to Dallas and we'll talk with Jeff. Hey, Jeff, what do you got for us?
Hey, can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes, I can. Go for it.
Okay, long story short, a member of my immediate close family has been falsely accused by a member of my not so immediate family, and they're facing prison charges. And I'm just having a really hard time, and so is my family, living out, praying for our enemies and loving our enemies. It's very hard to do that, and the accuser really needs some some help, and we're just struggling, and we're kind of holding back in this area of limbo, just kind of saying, well, I can't love and I can't pray for them right now, so I'm doing, nothing. And I just needed your thoughts and guidance
Yeah.
on how to navigate through something like that.
All right. Well, first of all, let's get a little context to this because, you're talking about the Sermon on the Mount here. I mean, you see it in Luke, you see it in Matthew. Here in Luke, it says, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, praise those or pray for those who mistreat you. And then it basically says, let other people beat you up. Then it says, if someone slaps you on one cheek, turn the other one to them. Then it says, give to everyone who asks you, and do not demand it back. All right, let's stop there. I think that's enough, don't you? Who is living this out? I've seen this as sort of a thing where people believe they're living the Sermon on the Mount and they're kidding themselves. It's a joke, and that's the whole point. It's a perfect and impossible standard. Let people beat you up. Give to whoever asks of you and do not demand it back. Well, have you tried to test that out on somebody? Hey, you think you're living the Sermon on the Mount? Yeah, I'd like all your belongings now. What? You don't want to give me all your belongings? Well, let's turn to a passage I know of in Luke and let's read it together. Now, that's tongue in cheek, but that is exactly what Jesus actually meant in the Sermon on the Mount. And it's high time that the Christian community confront what this is really about. I just cannot believe what I'm seeing over 2,000 years of interpreting the Sermon on the Mount. People have watered it down. Oh, Jesus didn't really mean turn the other cheek. He just meant try to smile. Oh, Jesus didn't mean, love your enemies. He just meant to try to tolerate them. Oh, Jesus didn't really mean give to whoever asks of you. He just meant try to be generous in general. We water this down. Jesus didn't mean pluck out your eye. He just meant to try really hard against sin. Jesus didn't mean cut off your hand. He just meant to make sure you do your best and God will grade on a curve. Well, I think it's high time that we stop all that and see that Jesus meant exactly what he said. And it's impossible. And it's impossible on purpose. That was the whole point. He was quoting the law. He said, you've heard it said, don't commit adultery. But I say, don't even get angry, or it's the same as murder. Don't look with lust, or it's the same as adultery. He kept jacking up the standard. I mean, he kept raising the bar. He kept making it more and more impossible in the Sermon on the Mount. And when we realize that was his true intention, then the pressure just comes off. I mean, because we were never meant to live up to that standard. So, we got to stop, hit the pause button, and look at the Sermon on the Mount. Why is it that when we teach this sermon that nobody talks about the Sanhedrin? I mean, Jesus tells them they'll be answerable to the Sanhedrin right there in the sermon. He threatens that they'll be answerable to a Jewish council from 2,000 years ago. What is he talking about? We Christians haven't hung out with the Sanhedrin lately. Jesus also says, get right with your brother before you offer your animal sacrifice on an altar. Are you kidding me? Have you offered an animal sacrifice on an altar lately? I sure haven't. It's high time that the church see what Jesus was doing. He was presenting Moses and then introducing Moses 2.0. So Does that mean then that we just, well, just disregard it completely and run around treating people badly? No, that's not the point of what I'm saying. But how about we not disregard it at all? How about we look at it at face value and say, whoa, what a perfect and impossible standard. Loving my enemies, praying for those who mistreat me, letting people beat me up, giving whoever asks of me, giving them whatever they ask for without question, chopping off body parts, being perfect like God. Do you see? Jesus was amping up the law so that they would see their need for God's grace. Now, you today, Jeff, you're living under God's grace. So, what does God's gracious counsel tell you today? Well, should you act without a sound mind, just trying to be nice all the time? Or should you do the loving thing and defend this family member? You've been under the bondage of law based living, trying to push down your true desire. What you want to do is defend this person who's hurting, defend the person who's been falsely accused. You want to do whatever you can. So, as far as praying for them, I don't think you need to pray for this accuser that they are going to have cookies and candy the rest of their lives. You need to pray that they come to their senses. You need to pray that they snap out of it. And as far as the other person, this closer person to you who's being falsely accused, go ahead and do the loving thing for them too. Defend them vehemently. Stand up for them. Because you're not earning points with God by shoving this under the carpet and ignoring the false accusation. Let's call it what it is. It's inappropriate. It's inexcusable. It's cruel. And if it results in prison time that is undeserved, are you kidding me? You're going to want to have fought the best you could fight in love, telling the truth, because you really care.